What's going on, boys? Quin69 here. Today, you are getting an exclusive video, and I'm going to ask the question, is Diablo 4 bad? Or is it good now, if they saved it? I don't know, you know? Let's get straight into it. I'm not going to mess around here. It's going to be raw, good takes, hardcore content. So, what are some of the W changes Blizzard has made, with the Season 2 patch? So, they made the horse run faster, and they made him less buggy. Now, he still does bug out, okay? Still, like, you're trying to go through zones, and it's like... But, for the most part, it's significantly better. And then, when you're trying to traverse through the dead soulless zones of Diablo 4, and you're trying to get to a destination, you can get there faster. So, that's overall, you're going to enjoy yourself slightly more, because you don't have to endure it as long, the traveling. Okay? No, but seriously, the horse changes. Good job, keep up those, we could still see another horse patch. They can get rid of some of the more bugs, but, good job, Blizzard. They also took a mechanic that was completely broken, bugged, and should never have been implemented in the way it was. I don't even know how it made it to life, but, resists. They took resists, and they took that mechanic, and then they made it functional. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It's, they could do plenty of things to make it better, but... resists are significantly better. I would go ahead to say it's 100x, 200x, 300x as good as it used to be. So good job there, Blizzard. So now that we've got all the positive things out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that's complete trash. And now, this isn't just supposed to be a video that's just saying D4 bad, okay? Because that's not this. It's supposed to be a feedback video and some takes, that maybe the Blizzard devs will look at and think, maybe we should consider that. So, one of the bigger things I want to cover that I feel like a lot of people are not, and in fact, people are even praising this, which kind of blows my mind, and that is itemization changes. I think straight up in Season 2, items feel worse. I feel like that's not even close. I am more flaccid than ever whenever I see an item drop on the ground. I don't know what to tell you. This is to do with the critical strike and vulnerability changes. So with the Season 2 patch, what they did is they made vulnerability no longer a multiplier. Well, okay, the base mechanic is a multiplier, so it multiplies your damage output by 1.2. But the increases to vulnerable damage, just additive, normal increased damage. It's the same. If it says 20% increased vulnerable damage, it's the same as 20% whatever the fuck damage, else in your gear. It's effectively doesn't do much. And then critical strike, the same thing happened. The base mechanic is a 1.5x multiplier, and then it all increases to your critical strike damage on your gear. It's just additive increased damage. And you're like, well, what do you mean? It was OP. Of course they had to make this change. Well, what they've done is they basically made all damage on your gear homogeneous. It's all the same. But all the mechanics that say, increased damage while running on Tuesdays. Increased damage to monsters when you're behind them and your character has like some buff. And that's all the same shit. You see an item, it's got damage mods, and there's nothing really special about it. You're looking at it and you're like, okay, well, this one here only works in this situation, but I mean, it's got a 1.2% more number on that one. And you're sitting there, and ultimately, high number, good. Now, obviously, there are still things on items that actually are designed well, like, plus to skills, things that, still exist in the game that actually will make differences, like cooldown reduction. The defensive mechanics, I like those. But when it comes to damage on your gear in the current implementation, it's just worse. It's just worse. And picking up items to me now in Season 2, I'm falling asleep, bro. I am fully flaccid. Now, why is that? It's because the feeling of min-maxing your character is not there. The feeling, I'm playing this build, so I need these rolls, and oh my god, if you're playing a bleed build, you could be getting some mods which give you like physical damage over time multi, or bleeds go faster, or something that fundamentally changes the way your build gets, like a really OP thing. It just doesn't exist for the majority of builds in the game, outside of, the few things I mentioned before. Hence making items feel, really shit. I guess what I'm saying is, Blizzard should, not even Blizzard, all ARPG items, they should have ultra best in slot rolls. They should have giga OP rolls that are insane, except for only certain builds. There should be many different ways to build your character, and there should be many rolls that effectively do nothing, and then there should be some rolls that are insanely overpowered if you're playing a specific physical build that does damage over time, or if you're playing a specific fire build that does big hits, whatever. There should be overpowered broken rolls on different pieces of gear that synergize really well with certain archetypes, so you get those exciting moments of finding an item that is like, wow, this item is literally going to change my damage so much because, these things scale my, my multiplier and this thing. Yep. Whereas it's the opposite. They also need to just, okay, when it comes to itemization, all this conditional trash, all the 500 different, increased damage, which are effectively all the same thing, that have conditions. They were dog shit at the beginning. They're still dog shit now. I think they just need to be just completely redone. They just need to look at those items and just throw it in the trash can. And then when they do that, they're going to have to rebalance. Of course, when they make these changes and they make these overpowered multiplier rolls on the gear and stuff, you're going to have to rebalance the world. You're going to rebalance the stats on the gear, all that stuff. And, you just do it. It's an ARPG. And, I feel like items feeling good is kind of a pretty important thing. Also, crafting, it doesn't exist. You can roll one stat. What the fuck is that? I guess that's it's a baseline. But then not only that, even if crafting was possible, it would be pointless because itemization's so bad. So really, it's a multi-step issue. They fix itemization and then also make crafting better. I know I'm asking for a lot, but these are just things that really, as a gamer, kind of upset me. And then speaking of crafting, actually, why do blue and white items exist? Like, we have this auto salvaging mechanic that you've implemented. You can just drop the materials now anyways. So why the hell are these useless blue and white items dropping if they're not used for crafting? We get the mats dropping anyway. I don't know, dude. It doesn't really make sense. We could talk about loot filters, but I'll talk about that later. Overall, yeah. So Blizzard, we need OP rolls. You need to bring them back. Now, just don't make them generically overpowered for everyone with just those two stats. Many different ways of being OP, but then make them specific to builds. Don't add conditional bullshit onto them. Just make them work in various ways. And where, it would be OP for someone and then complete useless for someone else. And then you can have cool things where you trade items. It's all around just a net positive. Now, boss changes. So, in Season 2, they added in a bunch of bosses. Actually, a positive. These bosses drop items, and, you can farm them out. If you need a specific item, you can go to that boss, and you can farm that boss out. Not only that, the bosses also incentivize you to go out and do different types of endgame, which is, kind of cool. Except for the fact... Huge damage, ramping. He's knocked down. I'm bursting. Why would you make a boss that does no damage? This is the hardest version of the boss, chat! Bro, my vampiric powers weren't even active! Is this gonna die, or is this phase 1? What do you guys think? Is this phase 1? The bosses are all just completely trivial. They really do just fall over dead, even on my character, which is not considered OP by any means, necessary. It's like I'm playing an ultra mid build, a Blizzard TM build, and yeah, every single boss I fought, all the new Ubers, Duriel, all that, a complete joke. Now this is an issue. Why is it an issue? It's because that effectively, the bosses were supposed to be the new in-game static content. And if all the bosses are just pushovers and they just die, you know, what do you do? Like, there's no content. And in a game which has no content, fundamentally, it's dog shit, right? Because you got nothing to do. Like, what the fuck? You just play. What are you going to do? You expect us to come back and then the bosses that are added in are just, you know. So I guess what I'm saying is they need to hard rebalance all the bosses. And not only that, some of the things like, you know, where they incentivize you to go out and, like, farm these materials to spawn these bosses, they're locked behind legions. I don't like locking bosses behind group content pretty much ever. Like, I'm playing on the Oceanic servers, they're dead. Nobody's playing on Oceanic. I mean, it makes it feel honestly like D4 is dead. I cannot complete a legion by myself with my Blizzard certified build. I cannot get the materials to spawn the boss. That's an issue. Locking materials behind group. I mean, think about it. Imagine if world bosses weren't a complete joke. Imagine if I couldn't solo world bosses. How are you ever going to get the, you know, materials at that point? But thank God, world bosses are also a complete joke, so then you can just get them. Why did no remind me? I did that whole world boss without the 80% attack speed buff. So I guess what I'm saying is, yeah. Come on, fix the bosses. The new vampire mechanic, you know, Helltide 2, I think it's, honestly, I think it's kind of mid. You know, the power's okay, that you get the vampire powers. I like the fact that they're class agnostic, but there was nothing truly inspiring there that made me want to, like, do a new build or re-roll around. It was just kind of like, okay, yeah, these are kind of nice. The upgrading menu for upgrading powers, oh my God. Never do that again, Blizzard. Never, ever. You need to, seriously, why do I need to click so many times just to upgrade my powers? I was getting RSL. I'm an old man. Come on. On top of that, anything that makes sense to be account bound should be account bound. I don't know if that goes without saying. I mean, I don't know if Blizzard have learned their lesson. I don't know if they've talked to the World of Warcraft devs. If it makes sense to make it account bound, just do it. It's stupid that the fact that your character specific powers makes no sense. Some other things that really were exaggerated this season, I think. The fact that there's no SSF mode. If I farm out all the mats to get one Duriel boss, and I go run that, I'm basically an idiot, right? I'm an idiot because I could also just get 3 other friends who also have one boss, and then we could get 4 boss kills instead of 1 boss kill. And then that just makes you feel like a moron, right? So come on, just give us a flag, even though it's not true SSF, because technically you can, you know, whatever, be in the open world and people could help. Who cares? Just give us a little flag that has a little leaf next to it that says, this guy's SSF, so that way you know, you don't really feel as stupid for doing it. I think the game balancing overall and the current state of D4 is complete trash. Everything in the game is just too easy. It's trivial. I mean, dude, I don't even think that even a single gamer died. In hardcore, that is. And now, that's because A, the game's too easy. And then B, also, you have a cheat death and vulnerability potion in the game. And then you have an instantaneous teleport that gets you out of any situation. What this does, I don't know if you know Blizzard, but effectively, it means everyone, providing you have a reaction time of less than 2,500 milliseconds, you can just proc your cheat death and realize, oh, my cheat death's procced, teleport to immediate safety, and then you can never die. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is, make the game harder, and then also remove cheat deaths. Like, why do cheat deaths exist in a game where you can teleport? Or you could also remove scroll of escape, I guess. But I feel like scroll of escape is, you know, nobody likes dying to DCs and game crashes and stuff. So, oh yeah, actually, let's give a Blizzard W. Actually, it's a Blizzard change. Whenever you disconnect now with the portal scroll, your character teleports to town. Which, you know, that's actually a Giga W change. I really like that. I want to say that the changes to the dungeons also make the game feel a lot better. You know, let me take that back down. It feels a bit better. let me take that down. It feels like slightly better. You're not backtracking as much. You can get to, you generally speaking, can get to them, but I was still backtracking a ton. I was still having to free prisoners from cages. I was still having to take all this bullshit around. Bro, I feel like you just need to, Blizzard, hear me out. The Nightmare Dungeons system here, it just rework it. Make it about opportunity cost, player-driven choices. Let us craft the keys. Let us take out all the objectives. Just copy Path of Exile map system, but make it like really easy. Okay, just a really simple PoE. Like that's what you kind of tried to do, but honestly, the current implementation, it just feels bad. Let me tell you, it's the best feeling where you've just kind of got shitty maps and you're just running them. You don't really care. You kind of just kill a few monsters, get to the main guy, get the juice, get out. Get the juice, get out. Then you actually have a really good map. It's got good rolls on it. You juice the crap out of it, Then when you run the map, you kill every single monster. You go to every nook, every cranny. You clear that out, and you get that. It's basically player choice driven. There's opportunity costs, ups and downs, like staying in the map too long. Really, you should just steal that. But just add the Blizzard touch. Also, I want to say that you probably still, when it comes to tile sets, come on, so many of the maps are still so samey. Like, yeah, they look a little bit visually different, but they're all just like these weird tunnels with offshoots. Give us some big open areas. Give us some, some big spirals, some other stuff. I don't know, dude. Just make it a little bit different. The stash is still fucked. I don't really need to go on about that. Stash is still fucked. Aspect system, honestly, the more I play with the aspects, the more it's just an annoying chore where, I got a new piece of gear. I have to, like, switch this aspect over. Oh, it's an itemized thing that now my stash is full of aspects that I'm holding on to.
99% of it is just legendary powers that I may use later.
And I already know which one I'm going to put on because it says, this ability does 100% more damage. So it's like, it's a mandatory thing. I feel like the aspect system as it currently stands probably needs a complete redesign. Maybe you put the aspect onto the item slot, not the item itself. I don't know. And then, honestly, the way that aspects are itemized, I feel like that could also use a rework. There's been many, many suggestions from the community as to how you could make the aspect system a million times better, like storing them, in some sort of a crafting window. You could basically have an aspect codex which gets upgraded, or it's an aspect codex which just keeps the best version of the aspect you found. You can just use it as many times as you want. There's many ways you can do it, and you can make inventory a little bit less fucked if you really can't just add bank tabs in. I mean, goddamn. Y'all tried to help us by reducing the elixir drop rate because you wanted more room inside the elixir tab, and then you added in 20 boss maps materials. Just give us an elixir tab. I mean, holy crap. The Helltide's still shitting out elixirs. All those world boss mats that I don't know why they're itemized, but they are, even though they auto pick up and they don't really feel like they have weight. Just give us a dedicated elixir tab at this rate. Or if you're going to put in league mechanic stuff, like, put that in its own tab. Loop filters. Come on. You added in the auto salvage, which honestly it was very noticeable in the lower world tiers, but as you get to world tier 4, you kind of just forget about it, and it's okay having the auto salvage where basically the shittier items like the the normal items and that are kept, but the reality is because of the way that you've decided to put eye level in to the game where it keeps going up and up and up and up and up, there is so much obsolescence that why do I want to see as eye level 660 item or an eye level? I don't care about that item. Just let me hide it. Let me hide the blue. If you're gonna add useless white and blue items into the game that are pointless and just fill up my bags, let us fill those out. You know what I'm saying? That really is it. I guess to sum it up, Blizzard did make some changes that are pretty good, and there's some steps in the right direction, but it's far and few between. I still think the game itself has no content, and I really struggle. I basically have one thing that I want to do, which is, kill a certain boss. But yeah, effectively, there's no in-game content, and because there's no in-game content, what's the incentive to play the game? Like, what's the point of farming an uber unique item if there's nothing to use that uber unique against, right? And then I think there's still massive issues with itemization that honestly went backwards. They went backwards instead of forwards, and I feel like more people need to talk about that. So that's about it, I guess. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and well, what do I want to say? Oh yeah, D4 bad.
Because he is.
God game.